So there's this new game called Icarus that's come out. It is a survival game. It's multiplayer. So those two kind of tick the box on me. And I thought, well, I'll pick it up. I'll give it a play. And it's from one of the guys who did DayZ. So I thought, hey, this could have actually some potential. And I had a look at Google reviews to start with, and it was like 80% recommend this game. And I thought, oh, this is good. And then I had a look on YouTube afterwards, and it was like, oh yeah, this could be the next best game, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I bought the game for myself, going in with some high expectations, and I can tell you now, the game is buggy, boring, and it feels like a massive waste of money at this point. And I just want to go through some of the issues that I have found with the game so far. So as I went through, I made a list, and I put plus notes next to things that I enjoyed, and then I put a negative symbol getting to things that I didn't enjoy. And I'll tell you now, there are 25 negative points to 2 good points. And let me start off with a positive list because it is relatively short. The game is incredibly pretty, the weather systems feel great, and you get like a great sense that you are in the atmospheres that they're trying to create. Also, I enjoyed the music, and the sound was actually pretty good. And also the concept of it does sound kind of cool, because like having an RPG elements in a survival game, you drop in, you drop out. Wow, that sounds really good. A pick up and play survival game where you don't have to commit hours upon hours to the game every time I want to play it. So I'm going to start off with the top. Some of these are bugs, some of these are just grievances that I have with it. But first of all, this game crashes a lot. The sessions drop a lot. It was miserable to play. I had to go into the offline mode eventually. I didn't have any drop-offs there, but when trying to connect to multiplayer, it disconnected me 6 times. And I'm sorry, that is just completely unacceptable. Additionally, when I wanted to then reconnect to my session, I couldn't just reconnect. I had to actually restart the whole goddamn client. The other thing is that this game takes forever to load. Now, I'm running on a 2080 and I also have an i9. I have a fairly beefy rig for these reviews, and yeah, it just took absolutely forever to load. And then what makes it worse is it doesn't even give you a loading bar, so you don't know if the game has crashed, it's hanging, it's just you get to watch this spinning weapon for the whole time you're there waiting to get into the game. So anyway, you'll crash land onto the planet and you'll see everything is very, very beautiful. I will say I did have to adjust the graphical settings as well. The way it is set up at the moment is it feels like everything is way, way, way over sharpened. It's kind of got this weird like pixely fuzz to it, the kind you get when you over sharpen a texture. So I put everything on low. The next thing that hit me was the fact that this game does stutter. It doesn't stutter enough that I'm like, this is really annoying, but it happens now and then enough that you will actually notice it. And then I started picking up on the weird bugs. So I was like, I'd be harvesting wood, or I'd be harvesting like ore on the ground, and it'd be like weirdly floating in the air for no unbeknown reason. And I'll be honest, it just looked a bit shit. Anyway, things like that I can kind of ignore, will eventually, I guess, get ironed out. The next thing that I really noticed as well was the fact that everything is so densely cluttered together, and the fact that you can pick up absolutely everything. And I get it, like it's a survival game, you use all of the resources, but it made actually selecting what you want to pick up really difficult. There was so many times that I killed an animal and then I just lost it because it was hidden away in the like bazillion different foliages that you have to pick up. And I said to myself, I know, I'll chop down all the trees around so I can actually find this animal carcass on the floor. And it turns out that the shadow maps apparently just stay there regardless, even if you kind of like chop the trees around so you can get a light source on top of them. Anyway, after I did this activity, I then got kicked out of the game once again and was thrown into the loading screen. And this is a bit of an irritation again. Like, you can't skip the intro cinematic. You can't just get on with the game. No, you've got to watch it over and over again. Then I ran into my other least favourite problem, which was the audio lag. While the game actually sounds really, really good, sometimes it just like you'll hit something and then a couple of seconds later you'll actually get the sound for it, and it's really disconcerting and sounds really crap. The AI in this game is also really dumb. The hitbox feels a little bit off. The amount of times that I shot a wolf through its arse, and the only time I could actually hit it is either in its head or its central chest box. It also seems to follow some sort of weird random linear pathing when it's coming at you, so like it'll run off at 90 degrees, then turn another 90 degrees and come at you, as if it had been coded in the same way that you used to code the mouse game to get it to run through the maze to get the piece of cheese at the end of it. there is also a whole plethora of issues with the UI. There's no minimap. I can live with a compass at the top of the screen as long as it shows you kind of the objectives that you need to go to. Instead, you're constantly left with a situation where you got to press the map button, look at where you need to go, then press M again, run all the way across, press M. You can't even do it while you're running, so it just doesn't feel like a natural fluid process, and just like you're tripping over your own legs every time you need to see where you want to go. The icons as well are absolutely ginormous. At one point I was killed by a bear and it took me about 8 minutes to find my body again because the just tombstone that I was looking for was so big, and the fact that it was also hidden in the 8 bazillion different types of foliage on the ground. The animals also had varying levels ranging from 1 to 24. I didn't actually find anything objectionably different between a level 1 wolf and a level 24 wolf. I also found that the quests that they gave you were super kind of unclear, or they just didn't flow naturally. The quest flow as well doesn't really make much sense in some areas. So there's a quest where you have a scanner and you got to do 3 locations. What it does is it gives you the second objective before you've actually completed all the quest objectives for the first one, which means that you can go to the second one and then realize you've left the scanner behind at the first objective. Which, if you can't do the second one, why even say that you can now go and do it? Additionally, the whole quest system felt really boring. The only thing that was remotely interesting was I got a gust of air blown up my ass by some storm when I was running for literally what felt like half an hour from one location to the other. I'm sure this is a lot better with friends, but when I was playing it on my own, it felt like it was self-isolation simulator. So my current status is I haven't refunded this game because I feel that with tweaks and some adjustments, then maybe it could actually be a little bit of fun. But until then, I'm just not interested in playing it. It's just so boring and broken. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it so far. I'm sure there are people who will agree out there and also disagree, but if you are in the same sort of genre of enjoyability as myself, then I feel like I should speak up and save you all some money. I'll be back with more reviews soon. I haven't done one for a while, so yeah, unfortunately this wasn't quite the pickup that I thought it would be, but have a great week everyone, and I'll speak to you all soon.